Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel today. Again, my name is Amber. If you are new here, this channel is all about fragrance. We dabble in everything from niche to designer to affordable to luxury, high-end, all kinds of stuff in between. So if that is your thing, then please consider subscribing, hang out, grab a snack, and we are going to be sampling today. So I recently picked up this discovery set from a brand that I was dying to try out for a really long time, ever since Sebastian from Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews talked about one of their fragrances several years ago now. And I was just wondering when I would ever get a chance to sample this house, because at the time it wasn't readily available in the States, I don't believe. And anyway, this is from Atelier Materi, and this is their discovery set. I got this from Lucky Scent. So the house total has only 6 fragrances, and so all of them are here. The packaging is gorgeous, and I love and appreciate that the names are on the outside of the boxes, and each of the vials are sprays, thank God, and they are individually packaged. So I've had this discovery set for a few weeks now, and I have tried all of them. So I definitely have some thoughts on them, and I definitely have some favorites. So I will start with my least favorite and work my way up to my favorite of the bunch. I will also say that this house is incredible, and they're definitely worth checking out, and I find them to be very unique. The names are very, very simple, but I don't find that the fragrances themselves are so simple that they're boring. They're very, very interesting, very, very well made, and I definitely have a couple of these that are going on my wish list for sure. I will start with my least favorite, which I hate shaming fragrances like this, especially at this quality. Okay, so it's one of my pet peeves in life to mispronounce people's names or mispronounce words in general, but I am from Texas. I am not French. I'm going to generalize how I know this is supposed to be pronounced, but it's not going to be pretty. So please bear with me with all of these. It's going to be atrocious. So Pomelo. Obviously this is a Pomelo fragrance. If you're not familiar with Pomelo, it is a citrus. It is a citrus, and it is either closely related to grapefruit or it is just another name for a grapefruit, but essentially it's a grapefruit kind of scent. So these come in glass spray vials, which is really, really nice. So the notes in this are grapefruit, Szechuan pepper, pink pepper, angelica, peony, osmanthus, mate or mate, vetiver, and cedar. I really do like citrus scents, and this is probably one of the purest interpretations of grapefruit that I've ever smelled. That initial spray is so powerful. When you spray it into the air, it's so overwhelming, and it's beautiful though. It's a very sparkly, very clean. This isn't my least favorite for the scent. This is my least favorite for the performance. So I sprayed this on my skin, and I sprayed it generously, and it lasted all of maybe 20 minutes. That's a significant price tag for something that doesn't last. Now, that's just my experience. That doesn't mean that everyone's body chemistry is gonna eat up citrus fragrances like that. But I will say, spraying this into the air, it creates this huge scent bubble. So just because it doesn't last on your skin, maybe it's one of those fragrances that has a sillage around you that will follow you throughout the day. But for a peppery type of pomelo, this isn't black pepper. The pepper is very much in the background. I would say it's much more pink pepper than it is Szechuan pepper. I don't get like a spicy type of pepper from this. I get just like an invigorating sort of zing to this fragrance. So it's citrusy with a little bit of zing. It's not house cleaner citrus. It's not super juicy. It's somewhere in the middle. It's bright, it's cooling, and it's really, really inviting. I really, really think it's a beautiful scent, but on me, the longevity just wasn't there. So that is why Pomelo is going to be number 6 for me. If you like citrus, please sample it, because I think that you would find this really intriguing. I'm always nervous saying stuff like this on camera, because I feel like everyone who doesn't subscribe to the same type of favorite notes becomes the weirdo of the bunch. And I am weird. I'm not huge on iris. I know, and I feel like everyone is like, oh, iris is king. I'm not a huge iris fan. I'm really, really not. Probably because I don't like powdery fragrances. Anyway, I digress. This is Iris Eben. Iris Ebony, or Ebony Iris. So this used to be called something else. I think it was called Cuir de Iris, which is leather. And so I'm not sure why they changed it. Maybe they removed the leather note, because on Fragrantica, it still shows the leather note. Even though the name has changed, I don't think that the leather went anywhere. I think it's still there. Now I love a leather note, but I don't care for iris very much. So I would say iris is kind of the star of the show in the first few minutes of the opening, but it definitely dries down to a leather scent. So you really, really have to like leather. It's just a bit too musky for me. So the notes in here, the top notes are petitgrain, allspice, and mandarin. And then there's suede, iris, and pink pepper. Definitely get that. And then leather, sandalwood, Peru balsam, and musk. There's a few green notes in here. Ironically, it's not powdery at all, but the dry down is really, really strong on the musk and the leather. So I cannot stress this enough. If you're excited that it's an iris scent, be forewarned that it dries down to definitely be a leather scent. The iris is still there. It's very present. There's a lot of leather in there too. It kind of plays peekaboo a little bit while it's in the mid. It's still a powerhouse of a fragrance, and it is gonna stick with you all day long. And when you spray it on your skin, for all of these, you get that nice glossy concentration of oils on your skin. So you know that there is a really, really good amount of fragrance oil in there, which is awesome. So that is Iris Eben. The next one, which would be number 4, would be Bois de Ambret. So this is obviously an Ambret fragrance, very, very musky, but this is not the same kind of musk that's in the previous one, not in the iris one. So this is a much brighter, much greener, sort of like musky and like a freshly cut grass kind of way. This one is right in the middle. So maybe that's why it's at number 4. It's very, very green. It's very, very almost herbal. So let me read the notes to you. So in the top, there's mandarin orange and ginger. Maybe a little bit of the ginger. I don't get a ton of it. The Ambret is in the middle, as well as Angelica and Amorous. And then there's sandalwood, musk, and ambroxan in the base. Definitely get sandalwood, but it's not super creamy. Definitely get musk and ambroxan. So if you're a fan of Juliet Has a Gun, not a perfume, you may still like this, but imagine that wrapped up in a lot of green notes. Fresh rain on freshly cut grass, kind of a vibe. So if that's your thing, you would absolutely love this. It is very fresh. It is refreshing. Bois de Ambret. I think a lot of people would really like this. This is super, super clean. It's clean musk. The other one is a much more leathery, in your face sort of musk. So if you like Juliet Has a Gun, not a perfume, if you like Molecule 01, that sort of thing, maybe even like Flora Botanica minus the rose, I think you would like this. A little bit safe for the price tag, but it is still really lovely. So that is Bois de Ambret. The next one is Santol Blonde. Did my lighting just change? So this is gorgeous. So this is number 3 for me, although I think this is tied for number 2 with my next one. So Santol Blonde is very, very sandalwood heavy, as the name would suggest. In the opening, it claims that there's cardamom and bergamot. I don't get cardamom at all, really. Maybe just a touch, but I get the bergamot. There's sandalwood and jasmine, and then there's hinoki wood, which I have no idea what that smells like on its own. And then there's tonka beans in the base. It's like bergamot and sandalwood, and a little bit of like a little touch of sweetness. This is so beautiful. This is so, 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 so beautiful. This is clean, but without being musky. Gosh, I hate calling it sweet because it's so misleading. It's not gourmand. It has so much character to it. Love this, and I love the dry down of it. It kind of, it changes a little bit. And anyway, I love this one. This is definitely one that is going on my list of ones that I want to purchase. And if you love sandalwood in any capacity, I highly recommend that you sample this out. This is Santol Blonde. All right, the next one that I want to talk about is my first experience ever with a Narcissus-based fragrance. This one is called Narcisse Taishi. Narcisse Taishi. I'm gonna go with that. Oh man, this fragrance really makes me reconsider the fact that I don't like green fragrances. That's how good this is. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, so this is not gonna be for everybody. Santol Blonde and Bois de Ambret. Probably the safest ones in here because they're clean and they're gonna work for everybody, I think. This is not for everybody because I wasn't sure that I liked this at first. Oh, okay, so what are the notes in this? So it opens up with pear and tuberose and ginger. Definitely get the ginger in this one. I did not get the ginger in previous ones. And then in the middle, it has narcissus, hay, and bran. It gives it kind of this roundness. In the base, there's patchouli, musk, and leather. I don't get the leather in this. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of leather. It's a very clean, crisp patchouli. It's not a dirty hippie patchouli. The first blast of this fragrance is what you live for though. The pear and tuberose and ginger are so bright and happy and beautiful and just a little bit sweet. It does dry down to be a little bit earthy, a little bit herbaceous, but that ginger kind of hangs around. That ginger is pretty powerful. So if you enjoy ginger and if you enjoy narcissus, highly, highly suggest that you check out Narcisse Taishi. Oh, I think I nailed it. That pear and ginger combination is heaven. I've never smelled anything quite like this, and this one really excited me. And for something I would really consider a green woody fragrance, I love this. I love this, love this, love this. So I highly suggest that you guys sample that one as well. Last but not least, this is the one that I heard Sebastian from Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews talk about a few years ago. I can't remember. He talked about it a long time ago and the bottle intrigued me so much. If you guys haven't seen these bottles, they're incredible. I'm a fan of like a mixed medium kind of bottle. These are like a blue glass bottle with a concrete and gold painted cap. They're stunning, stunning, and I want one so bad. This one right here, Cacao Porcelana. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is gorgeous. Okay, so as the name suggests, it's cacao, but it's so much more than that. I had some friends come over and I sprayed this and I feel like it rendered them all speechless. Seriously, it rendered them speechless. This is gorgeous. Let me just pull up the notes for you here. Cacao Porcelana is cacao pod, rum, and immortelle in the top. Just think about that for a second. Cacao, rum, and immortelle. Then the middle notes are white tobacco, davana, and Indian jasmine. And then the base notes are tonka beans, patchouli, and sandalwood. All you need to know in all of that mess, all you need to know is that this smells like a boozy tiramisu. It's divine. Find some extra skin here. So the first blast, you get that cacao and rum. You get like this dusty cacao rum. And I feel like I can almost taste and feel the texture of like dusted cocoa powder on top of a piece of tiramisu that's like soaked in rum. It starts to dry down to like a white tobacco, creamy sandalwood sort of thing. It's not as intense and as thick and syrupy as, say, Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. It's not quite like that, but they might be in the same family. So if you guys like that fragrance, you would still like this, I think. Just stays in that boozy cacao tiramisu kind of thing. That's what I just keep getting. I don't really get... I get some tonka beans in here because there's like an almondy quality to it. The immortelle is present at first, but it goes away. I really don't get patchouli. I feel like patchouli, if anything, just kind of gives it like some body to it. And I don't really get jasmine, if I'm honest. This is really just a blast of boozy cocoa powder. Love, love, love this. I cannot express to you guys how much I love this. And this is like saturated with oil. So if you guys like boozy fragrances, if you guys like tobacco and vanilla fragrances or chocolatey fragrances, you have no business not owning Cacao Porcelana. If you purchase any of them from the 6, I absolutely would suggest the Cacao Porcelana, the Narcissus fragrance, and the Santol Blonde. Absolutely 100%. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these. The other ones are great. They're just not my taste personally. Cacao Porcelana, I'm like salivating, hoping and wishing and waiting for the day that I can own this. All right, you guys, so those are my thoughts on Atelier Materi, the Discovery set. I think that Discovery sets are such an important way for you to try out all, in some cases all, or in some cases a good majority of the best sellers from a fragrance house, because like I said, for each one of these it's like $200 to $300 a pop, and there's no way I would ever be able to sample in my budget. I would never be able to sample all of these with buying full bottles. It's just not gonna happen. It was 100% worth it. I feel like the sample sizes are very generous. I love that they're sprays so you can get the full experience of wearing them, and I feel like the longevity on these fragrances is insane, except for the Pomelo one, just on me. But I will say it still creates a scent bubble. So just because it doesn't last on your skin, maybe it still follows you around throughout the day. So take that with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion, but I think this is a fantastic house and I highly suggest that you guys check these out. So that is Atelier Materi. Okay guys, thank you so much for sampling with me today. If you enjoy this kind of content, leave some comments below. Let me know what you're sampling. Let me know what I should be sampling next. I do have a couple other fragrance houses that I'm going to sprinkle into my regularly scheduled content here. This is really fun for me. Again, I did kind of experiment with these before I filmed this video, but if you would prefer like first impression, smell things cold turkey with you guys, then I'm definitely down to do that too. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.